What is the point of Newcastle United? 3 quotes pulled from a quick internet search on ambition, a topic I'd like to discuss now. What are Newcastle's ambitions? Should their ambitions mimic ours? Should ours mimic theirs? First, in true Rafa style, a few facts. In 2007, Mike Ashley bought Newcastle. Since then, Chelsea, Tottenham, Man U, Birmingham City, Liverpool, Swansea, Portsmouth, Man City, Wigan have all won trophies. And if a cup final is a barometer of success, these sides have also reached the final. Cardiff, Everton, Portsmouth, Stoke, Bradford, Aston Villa. So to reiterate, Birmingham City, Swansea, Portsmouth, Wigan, Cardiff, Everton, Stoke, Bradford and Aston Villa have all reached cup finals since 2007. Newcastle are in the top 20 clubs worldwide based on turnover. And in the summer of 2013, Southampton, Norwich, Cardiff, Stoke and Sunderland all outspent Newcastle. Though, to be fair, all Premier League clubs outspent Newcastle in the summer transfer window. And Pardew on the 24th of December scored a Sky saying the Europa League is a massive problem to Premier League teams. So Newcastle don't want a domestic cup and definitely don't want to get in the Europa League. Obviously the Champions League's off the cards when sides like Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea, Spurs, Man U, Liverpool have much deeper pockets. So what does that leave? Avoiding relegation? I understand from a purely business perspective what Ashley wants. He wants money. He wants to tap into the TV rights that are always so plentiful. £3 billion at the last sale. And he wants to invest as little as possible. He's experienced a relegation and does not want and also cannot afford that again. Hence the splurge in January 2013 on 5 players. So he wants Newcastle to sit in mid-table and that's it. Blacken the eye of a big club every now and again, but mainly stay well clear of relegation. It's hardly the dream of everyone who's kicked a ball against a brick wall, who have dreamt of scoring the winning goal. Dreaming of running the ball into the corner in the last minute to secure a lucrative 8th place ahead of 12th place is not the dream. And what is the point if you can't dream? Football fans are mostly delusional, blind to their team's faults, perceptive to the nth degree about opponents' faults, and yes, we hashtag let's get carried away. But it's that passion that brings the fans and the money. It's the belief that with a favourable cup run, you could see your heroes run out of Wembley to try and win a trophy that the fans will never forget. Players are signed, not just for money, but for the project to take a club forward, to win things for their own career, and become legends for their club sides. Some clubs, Premier League players, may be all they aspire towards. Without naming names, Fulham, West Brom. Clubs like this don't have the fan base or turnover to expect more. And in that, you could play Stoke, but, as we've noticed, we've at least seen them in a cup final. Turning back to Newcastle, the club feels settled, but not in a good way. Settled in the way you get settled with a girlfriend or a boyfriend, when all one wants to do is sit at home and watch TV. Sure, that's okay now and again, but what happened to the fun? What happened to just saying fuck it and live life in the now? Football is a business, but it's one built on the passion, dreams and ambitions of generations. There would be no Newcastle, or any club, if not for the fans getting together all those years ago. To get to the final of a cup, you only need to play 5 games. If Newcastle's sole aim is non-relegation, then surely a few Premier League games could be played with a weaker side around cup weekends. Newcastle since 2007 have lost cup games against Man City, Cardiff, Brighton, Man U, Brighton, Blackburn, Stevenage, Arsenal, West Brom, Peterborough, Hull and Tottenham. That gives a clear indication that Newcastle do not care about cup competitions. Whilst there may be no money in the cup competitions, without the draw of ambition, how long will fans continue to flock to St James's? We consider ourselves a big club based on our fan base, and yes, other clubs do mock us for it. Apart from the diehards, who will continue to pay upwards of £500 to see Newcastle act as a stepping stone for players? As we've seen in this transfer window, Yohan Cabaye is very close to leaving. Perhaps the lack of lows compensate for the lack of highs, but it's those highs and lows that make it the most popular sport. Like it or not, football means something to a great number of people. When time, effort and money is put into a club, should fans not expect the same from management? The point of this post is a plea. A plea to see Newcastle take a tilt at a cup competition. We don't want a Leeds or a Portsmouth destroying our future for a single day in the sun, but there's a happy medium to reach. Pick a single cup competition and focus on that for a season. See how it goes. Put out the strongest team and see where that takes us. Newcastle this season have beaten Spurs, Chelsea, Man U, and given a decent game to Man City and Arsenal. The club is capable of mixing it with the big boys, and there is no reason why a cup run would or should destroy the league form. Perhaps a steady season is required to ensure we don't see a repeat of last season's not so much flirt as relegation, but tuck it outside and give it a good rogering up against the bins. But it's the end of January, and Newcastle have nothing to play for. I find that a sad state of affairs. You have to wonder what Pardew makes of it. Is he culpable of following orders to the letter? Or is it more? Is it willful neglect of the supporters who chant his name? Stapleton did not look down the road and see Sunderland in the League Cup final and still in the FA Cup. Now, whilst I wouldn't trade their position, at least their fans have hope to cling on to. They'll get to see their players run out at Wembley. They'll get to have a trip to Wembley. They'll get to remember those experiences that they will never will forget. And it's those experiences that I'd like Newcastle fans to come across, Newcastle fans to remember. Remember the big days, because at the moment we're doing our best to avoid those big days. You might wonder why the background is the game that it is. It's how I feel Newcastle are placing its supporters of late. In limbo.